Hello, everyone. Joseph here. Today we are with Laurel Lyons out of Sedona, Arizona. Hello, Laurel.
Hello, Joseph.
Laurel, I know, and we spoke that you had some serious experience involving a lightning and an ET being that had opened even more your intuitive and psychic abilities. Let's start right there.
I'll go straight to the lightning strike and maybe go around it at that point. I had just moved here from Southern California, hadn't really settled into Sedona yet. Early on, I was in my own bed, in my own home, in the middle of a night, and lightning hit a transformer box, traveled to my home, and shook me all up. Changed things in more ways than I can probably even still identify with. I've been intuitive, I've been very aware, I've been available to higher guidance source, things like that, since I was born, since I was conceived, past lives kind of a thing. So bringing in my intuitive abilities, they were always there. The lightning strike changed me, but didn't change me, enhanced my system, but didn't enhance my system. The healing from that lightning strike, physical, emotional, mental, was immense and very challenging. I always had, all the way through all of it, I always had really amazing guidance. I've had extraterrestrial communication contact since I was a little girl, very aware of it at around 8 years of age. And the lightning strike, the experience itself gave me a great benefit because it really hooked me into the all that I had. And the all that I had was the true pure nature of myself.
Very good. Did you find that your intuitive psychic abilities have changed after the lightning strike?
Yes. I have come to a place where I have precision confidence in my awareness of guides, how wisdom comes down to me. I also do, I'm a sweet, vivid, lucid dreamer. And I've been teaching dream work since 2010. The lightning strike and the whole experience really gave me only the opportunity to tune into and align with who I am, who guides me, why I'm here. It was like a precision process that I'm certain now. I, signed up for, volunteered. Hey, I'll go to Earth. I'll be the one who gets, cracked open by lightning. I had a lot of regret, the challenge was incredible. Physical pain is really a catalyst for change. That was very difficult in the human aspect of who I am, but the greater aspect of why I'm here just kind of cradled me in and took care of me to get to this day today.
Very good. Now, I know that you do a type of intuitive reading or channeling, whichever way you want to call it. And I thankfully have experienced some of your intuitive readings. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Could you summarize, just in a few words, who you're communicating with when someone comes to you for a session?
For several years, I wasn't certain I thought, I figured Great Spirit or that it was just the way I am, the open nature of the way I was. Since the lightning strike, I joke with myself that my imaginary friends that hung out with me after the lightning strike were Yeshua, Mother Mary, a significant number of guides that I have relationships with my entire life. Extraterrestrials, I call them UBETs, ultra being extraterrestrials.
Right.
That my connection with, and I do feel as if our Yeshua, our Mother Mary, they are the great ascended masters that go into that realm of who are these amazing guides and why do they want to hang out with me for the loving service and the capacity to help a broader scope of one human, all of humanity, if that's the way I'm called.
So when the session happens, who is that you communicate with?
I have really recognized over the last 20 years that the one that I recognize or the one that I communicate substantially for a client or a recipient is because I am so connected to my soul, my highest self since the lightning strike, I am able to communicate with the client, the recipient's highest self soul. So the channeling is a communication between me and the client's highest self for highest capacity for their development. But there's always, there are a lot of other, quite often, 3 or 4 or a room full of guides, ascended masters, folks that we don't want to have around that, are kind of like the clingers. They'll come in for the energy itself, but I'm very aware of them. And I'm really good at throwing them out of session or of the space.
When you receive information, what form is it for you?
It's a deep sense of knowing in the center of me. I count on what's called gut instinct or the trust belly. I have learned to go into that trust belly to know if I should trust the message I receive to share it. I'm very visual. I'm a seer. I have a blank wall in my council room that I kind of watch a slideshow or a movie of the experience, the session, the recipient's experiences. And my guides, I have a very humorous guide who's just loves to support me. He's always right with me. It's great. 15, 20 years ago, Mother Mary, I call her the high priestess of the Elohim tribe. Yeah. Mother Mary really became incredibly obvious to me. I went to an expo. I was doing readings and healing work at an expo in Southern California. And Mother Mary was in every session. And I thought, wow, all these clients, all these people who have signed up have this really great relationship with Mother Mary. This is so fascinating. Odd as it may sound to some people, odd as it may seem to some people, when the expo was done and I was cleaning up and loading things in my car, Mother Mary was right beside me. And she said, I am here for your clients, but I am here for you. And she's been a part of I call it my lineage, past life, whatever. I have a very close trust and faith shared between really amazing ascended masters that trust me. That has been based on, I will say this, I have never done anything without checking with my guides or without satisfying trust belly to know that I am pure in the integrity of what I will be doing.
Very good. How do you know when you communicate to a guide, entity, energy of sorts, how do you know who's who?
They often identify themselves. If they don't, I energetically escort them out. If it feels negative, sometimes it takes a while because their energy and quite often their opportunity to be in the environment of 3D can be very difficult for some. But the ascended masters and the guides that I've been working for or with, they're very confidently open about, I know who they are. They know how to identify themselves, how to give to the highest good their messaging and their guidance, their help.
Very good. Would you say, I mean, you've got yourself full with things that most people don't even know about. But on the other hand, there's a lot of people seeking someone who can help them communicate with guides, communicate with their higher minds or higher selves, communicate with their true essence, if you will.
Yes.
How would you suggest for people like myself or anyone to start tuning into these energies or entities or frequencies so anyone can check in with their guides?
Mm-hmm.
Start.
There is a lack of faith in this 3D Western world. There's a lack of faith that people have in themselves. And I do feel, based on dogma, programming, organized things, that our society, our Western structure, it's hopefully dissolving. Our society has been trained to not trust in themselves. The suggestion that I have, one, we need to quiet ourselves down so that we can match the frequency of guides that come to us and through us.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to be in that silent stillness place. They get, I need to do laundry, or I forgot to buy milk at the grocery store. They've always got the thinking mind going instead of the thoughtful present mind. First advice that I give most people is, when they're blown away by how much I am able to share and they have barely felt it and they want more, let them know, silence yourself, put yourself in stillness. Big one, stop doubting yourself. The doubt energy is something that guidance, angelic realm, the doubt process is like an animosity that we rev in. High source, angels, guides, all that, they have difficulty showing up and revealing their truths in that animosity energy, in that doubt energy. They're open to be open for us. They want to be met there. Turn off the CDs, stop texting, sit for 20 minutes at the same time every day and say, hey guides, whoever you are, I'm just going to hang out here until one of you says hello. It can be more simple. We don't need to do a $7,000 9-day retreat or If people are called to that, fine. It's a very simplified form because our guides and our angel sources love simplicity. So when we simplify, they can meet us.
Very good. So someone sits there for 20 minutes a day, relaxing, saying, guides come to me. How would they know that they've made contact? What are some of the signs or things they can look for or say that must have been a sign, that must have been, I've been contacted?
If they're really available and into the awareness that it takes to allow themselves to recognize it, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it in tummy. They're going to feel it in the heart. Some people get tingles on their skin. Some people heat up the spine. There are a number of things, but if each individual is aware when they've called in guidance, 3 or 4 days, and they're going to have that awareness of, oh my goodness, I got butterflies in my tummy, or I'm smiling and I don't know why. It's beyond tangible, but it is tangible evidence when we connect.
Fair enough. That's a good way to say it. When people come to you, what do you think is the thing that helps them the most? Not necessarily what you do, but the things that helps them the most.
This sounds like a Hallmark card from the 80s. It's the anchoring in of a pure love. I love my experiences. My happiness comes from guiding people. I saturate a room or an environment with love when people call on me. It may be often it's kind of a first experience with that purification of love that so many people have not felt before in their life. That keeps me going. That makes me want to help more people, guide more people, love more people. Not the romantic love, not so much the emotional, like I said, the card, the Hallmark card kind of a thing. Finding the environment of love for themselves, for their hopes, for their healing, the potential, what they've healed before, that anchoring in of love and a positive attitude about themselves is monumental in the development of someone's higher nature, higher self, higher calling.
It really seems to me, and thank you for that, it really seems to me that these days it's all about people relearning how great they are and appreciating themselves again, and redeveloping that confidence in themselves. You put the air, what is it called? Like when the mask falls off.
Oh, the mask in the airplane? Yeah.
And then you help others. So you have to feel good about yourself first. And that is probably the greatest challenge of our times.
Mm-hmm.
How we perceive ourselves. Would you agree with that?
Yes. As an elder woman, growing up in the timeline and the location and the kind of family unit that I grew up in, that was not, it wasn't even, you couldn't even pretend that that was going on. And you were crazy. I was just free of, getting placed in mental institutions and all of that weird stuff for being my natural weird self. I I find that so many people do not comprehend, because of upbringing or environment or social atmospheres, so many people don't even begin to comprehend that self-love is really available, and more than that, that it is selfish and not okay. It is the foundation of spiritual development, growth, healing, all of it.
We do associate it, I agree with you. We do associate even recognition of self-love, being good to oneself as shameful and full of guilt, because in the Western culture we live, we've developed these values of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, and I have to work. Everyone's always so busy, but not really doing much. But everyone's busy because if you're not busy, that's guilty. That's not doing the right thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is an interesting thing, the way that the majority of us, I'll leave it to Western society, so to say. It's amazing how so many of us have been trained from, I need to say this, we've been trained by people who were never trained for self-care.
That's true.
And it does go into a strange way that, as children, we are raised to respect authority figures. But if we're empath, sensitive, intuitive beings, we recognize immediately that our authority figures don't trust themselves. Our authority figures don't utilize their authority properly. It's, I'm bigger than you, or I'm your father, or I'm your principal at your school. And we before we can even really come up in our honest, true nature, we are invalidated by these so-called authority figures. And as children, we want to be good children. We want to be cooperative. We want to be approved of. And so we maintain this facade that was developed often before we were even born. And it's the struggle that I see in a lot of people to switch from, I promote at a radical level self-care, self-respect, self-love. I hear probably 9 out of 10 times, but that's conceited. Doesn't that go into a narcissist profile? How can I care for others while I'm caring for myself? You'll care more honestly and with greater influence if you are a catalyst through your own self-care to care for others. You'll become more trusted.
Very true. I want to wrap this up with you giving me some good advice about how to care for myself and how to ensure that I have a good day every day.
Oh my.
That's a good tackle.
Okay, can you repeat the question? No, I'm joking.
The question is, what can I do to feel good about myself? How do I stay in good vibes?
The answer that's coming up for that is work on the awareness of the fact that you do wake up every day wanting to have a good day.
Very good.
That's as simple as it could possibly get. The ways that we support that: eat well, eat healthy. If you want a cookie from some bakery in town, go get one, don't get a dozen. Find your ways to eat more natural, certainly organic. I'm going to say this because it's just proof to me. Stay away from meats that are developed in the big meat department case at the conventional grocery stores. Pay a couple dollars more because that is what's going into your body. Get the good organic meats. I eat meat. I believe in it. Portions are appropriate.
What about spiritual things to feel good about myself?
Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you feel good about yourself. And not just in the mirror because you're shaving or putting on makeup. Eye contact with yourself and say, I really thank you for waking up again today. I really thank you for wanting to create a good day, and saying, I value you. Look at yourself in the eyes, and even if it feels kind of creepy, look at yourself in the eyes and say, hello, glad to see you here. I'm glad that you want a good day, and I value you for exactly who you are, what you were conceived for, how you want to make this a highest self day.
Very, very good. On that note, thank you very much, Laurel.
You're
Pleasure
very welcome.
speaking with you.